Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out a 2022 Toyota Tundra, the new redesigned one, four-wheel drive in the 1794 CREWMAX trim level. This vehicle is sitting on 265/60 Yokohama tires wrapped around 20-inch alloy wheels with a gloss gray finish. It also has four-wheel disc brakes with ventilated rotors on all four wheels. The name of this color is Magnetic Gray Metallic, and it's a really nice gray color. It has a metallic in it, just like the name suggests, and just looks overall great on a truck especially. Now there's a lot of chrome on this vehicle. Here on the grille, massive chrome section here, goes up from this side all the way to the other, and then connected there in the center with the Tundra badging there, and the LED fog lights are integrated. Kind of hard to notice them sometimes because they're in this kind of strange spot here. So a lot of fog lights are below the headlights in this area, but these are kind of integrated here, which are pretty good. They actually work pretty good. You could check out my night video. Headlights are great too. So it does have the parking sensors. There's some integrated in the body color here, and then there's some in this black portion. This is like a flat black little strip right there, and then there's like a metallic body colored gray right in here piece. There's some additional cooling spots right in here on the sides, but that's not wheel well ventilation. It goes in to other cooling elements. This one has the 360 surround view camera system. There's actually a camera right here integrated into the grille. So it's right below the badge in the very center position, which is nice. The headlights, it's a quad projector LED system with a pretty interesting looking light setup for the daytime running lights, and also the turn signal is a little bit different. You got to check out my night video on how well it works at nighttime and going down the road and all that stuff. Taking a look at the profile of the vehicle, it's a long truck, and you'll experience the length when you're trying to find a parking spot and park properly. But anyways, you can see it has the more trim here on the side, right in here. There's also the power steps that pop out, which is pretty cool. There's also a power step right here next to the tailgate, which just pops out when you open the tailgate and pops back in when you close it. It's pretty cool. Now the side mirrors are flat black right in here, and the handles are also chrome, and then you have some chrome kind of underlining the glass here. Now this portion, that pillar, is a gloss black, and it has a little bit of gloss black here on the front, and this is like a vinyl wrapping over top of the paint, which is interesting. This is what the key looks like, and it's a full proximity key designed where you can just keep it in your pocket and use the vehicle 100%. It does have the ability, there's a physical key on the inside as well. It does have the ability to lower the tailgate, which is pretty cool. There's a panic button, lock and unlock, but generally as long as you have the key with you, you can have it in a pocket, in a bag, as long as it's on the outside of the door. You can lock and unlock it. You lock it right here with this little dimple. Just rub your hand or put your hand over it, your arm, whatever. It senses the key and it locks the door. To unlock it, as long as the key's on the outside of the door, you could just place your hand behind the handle. There's a sensor back here. As long as the key's on the outside of the door, you can access the vehicle. There's also a physical key location here on the driver's side only. Now on this, the way it has it set up, when I lock the door, it also power folds in these huge side mirrors as well. So as you open up the door, these steps pop out. So as I open this door, step pops out and you can get in the vehicle. And that's convenient. Kind of gets it out of the way when you're not using it, because it is a pretty good size off the ground vehicle. So getting in and out with the step is much, much easier. Now there is a puddle light here on the inside of the door, located right there, and it's LED. You can check out my night video so you can see what it looks like. So the inside, you have inside of the door here, there's a soft touch surface here, a metallic strip, soft touch. This is kind of like a vinyl wrapping. It's not super soft, but it is soft touch. There's a hard touch surface in the center part, and then this is soft touch here, and then you got the more hard touch surfaces down here at the bottom. This handle is enclosed, so you can utilize that as a pocket. You also have a small pocket here, and then a larger one that expands from the front to the back of the door. So you can have bottle holders and all kinds of stuff there. There's the threshold, no fancy sill plate or anything, but it does have a pretty substantial power seat here on the passenger. You're able to go up and down and tilt, four-way lumbar adjustment. So there's a lot of functionality there on the power seat for a passenger seat. Usually there are a lot, not as much controls there anyway. So these are heated and ventilated seats here in the front, and it has the perforations, and I like these light color seats, looking nice. So the perforations are there. It has some stitching that kind of blends in, and then there's like a gray, dark gray or black portion there in the center, and then it continues up. Really comfortable and good looking seats. The interior is really nice. I like light interior, especially when it's kind of contrasted with the black. And check out these floor mats here. They have like these 1794, it looks like primers or something here on the carpet portion. The rest is rubber. It has like a rope around the outside. Tundra 1794. And they hook in place, and plenty of legroom here in the front, no doubt. Lockable glove compartment. Smooth plastic in the inside. It also has little shelves in there as well. Then we have more of that material that like we saw on the door here with the stitching and little strips there. It does have real wood accents. So this one has the 1794 edition. Kind of make it look like it was branded in there. Is what it looks like, which is pretty nice. It does have a handle for entering the vehicle on all four doors. The opening here in the front compared to the back, they're both excellent. You got lots of room here in the front, putting your head in and just kind of lifting your legs in here. There's no like big, huge threshold to get your legs over or whatever. So entering and exiting the vehicle in the front is no problem. The swing of the door is nice. Same thing here in the back. Lots of room, headroom, everything getting in and out, and the swing of the door is good as well. Especially considering this back portion is more for passenger and not so much for cargo like other vehicles. Other competitor vehicles kind of utilize this space better for cargo space, so they have a little bit higher swing. So since it's just for passengers, the swing of the door is fine. So the inside of the back door, it does have the shade that collapses down into the door like so when you're not using it, and it does have the privacy glass as well. Very similar styling as the front. It has the soft touch here, the metal, the hard portion there. Metallic accent is down here. And then you have a little storage compartment, and then the large one at the very bottom. So very similar styling and functionality as the front door. There's the threshold area. The back seats are really nice. These are heated and ventilated as well, just like the front. Yeah, the perforations there. It does have the latch system for car seats as well. There's an armrest and cup holders here in the center, which you can push up out of the way. Yeah, pretty good amount of room. Now there is pockets on the back of both front seats right here, and this is all, there's no hard touch surfaces back here. Similar styled floor mats, but check it out. It's got this huge hump there in the center. So, you know, you won't have to deal with that. Some other competitors don't have this huge hump. Then there's cup holders here that's accessible from the back and the front. There's your heated and cooled seats controls. Also USB-C and USB charge ports, and a power inverter back here, 400 watts. So it's 400 watts or 100 watts, depending on the vehicle's running. And this is, some of these things are not eliminated. So you can see in my night video where some of it's good, some of it's not, throughout the whole vehicle. Okay, so this seat lifts up and locks in place, but you notice it has this large plastic piece that kind of is intended to hold your things underneath the seat, but it limits the amount of cargo space you can have back here. So you can put stuff underneath the seat. It's out of the way, completely secure, and out of sight as well. Behind the seat on the small section, it's a 60-40 split, so the small section here has the jack and tools for the spare tire, which is located underneath the vehicle. And then there's like a little bag holder, which can be handy. On the opposite side, this is the larger portion, so we can lift this up, and you can see there's an additional storage space under here. It also has like these little dividers you can take out, so you can put long items like like say a rifle or fishing pole or whatever back here underneath the seats. Keeps them out of sight. That's nice. There's additional tie downs that are located here in this bag. You can attach there in the back. It has a rail, so you can attach those cleats onto that rail. And then behind this side, there is a subwoofer. So there's the bag holders there, and then there's a JBL subwoofer right here. Taking a look at the back of the vehicle, right here at the top, you can see such a big vehicle. I gotta zoom in. There's a shark fin antenna that is right here, and it's a gloss black. So right there. So that's right there in the center. But then you'll notice right there in front of it, basically, or right on the back of the bed, there's two cameras. One is the bed camera. The other one is a rear view camera that I'll show you in the inside. It basically on the rear view camera, or the rear view mirror, you can switch to a camera, which is really convenient. And then there's LED lights up there as well for the third brake light, as well as cargo lights there. And the tail lights are LEDs, like 3 LED strips in red. Even the turn signal's red. That's pretty bright and very visible, looking pretty good. It's very interesting style. There's also some chrome back here, so you can see those chrome pieces there, and parking sensors across the back. You can see the parking sensors integrated in this black portion, and then the body colored portion out here. There's also a backup camera, which is a little bit offset here, and then there's a light on the other side. I guess it's trying to balance it out. So that's kind of like an approach light back here. So if you unlock the doors, it'll turn on, and you can, get to the vehicle without stepping or tripping or anything like that, stepping on puddles or whatever. The reverse lights are LED, and they're kind of integrated here. Similar position as the front. Fog lights, which is kind of neat. They kind of a little LED strip there. There's the towing package, and then the outlets here, the 4- and 7-way outlets are above the bumper, and they're covered up, so they're easy to get to, and also stay relatively clean since they're above that bumper. So you'll notice right in here, there's like a little, right there, that's a little step, which is pretty cool. Similar to the side steps, except for it's a tailgate step. There's a couple ways actually of opening up this tailgate. We can use the key. We could just grab it, and there's a button right under here, like so. But they added this additional feature. It's a button here on the side, and I think what the intention is that you can bump it with your knee or your elbow, and it will lower the tailgate. We'll just go ahead and push it. So there, right there, push that, and the tailgate kind of flops down. You want to make sure there's no kids or anything in the way, because it does come down pretty fast. But you'll notice this little side step's now popped out. And when we close the tailgate, I'm going to go ahead and close it so you can see it popping back in. Usually these types of steps are manual, and you have to like grab them with your foot, but this one's powered, which is pretty cool. So as I lower that, it pops out. Okay, so this has a composite bed. So it's not like a metal bed. So the outer portion of the tailgate is metal, but then the inner portion is this plastic. And this is textured here, but the actual inside of the sides right here is kind of like more of a smooth texturing material. And this one has this big rubber mat, but you can see the texturing is better here on the bottom. That's what it actually looks like. And they put this big rubber mat. Now, the rubber mat has pluses and minuses depending on your needs. So it's kind of harder to slide things in with this mat, but things don't slide around once they're in there as much. So it's something to consider. Now, it's not a big issue if you're tying down what you're putting back here. So this is a lot of additional weight having this big mat here, big rubber mat. So it's depending on your needs. So it has fixed tie downs. They're kind of in this middle position here. So there's a middle one there. There's a kind of a lower middle one here and here in the front. So it's a good thing that it has this rail, the rail on both sides, across the front and here on the side, because those cleats can go on there, because there's not a lot of, the fixed tie downs are kind of limiting the way they are now. They're better than nothing, but yeah, it's a little bit of an issue there if it was just those. But since it has the rails, it's a lot better. And you'll notice these little dividers here. These are pretty interesting. You can put like a 2x4 or 2x6 in these positions here and divide up your load. You can also put it in a horizontal position and cross to the other side, and kind of separate depending on your needs. It's kind of, there's several of them there, so you can utilize those for whatever you want. Plus they're on the on the wheel wells there across, you can put one there as well. Kind of interesting. Now, of course, you'd want to tie down the load because these 2x4s are going to, or 2x6s or whatever you're using, are just laying in there. So, you know, when you tie it down, then it makes it secure. Because if you just have 2x4s just laying across in there, you know, could potentially be a safety risk, especially if it's just here on this wheel well, just kind of laying there and there's nothing really holding it down. Now, this rear glass does power down. It goes power up and down, which is pretty cool, just like the old Tundras. So they kept that functionality, which is pretty neat. A lot of people like that. Also, the cargo lights are really nice. So you can see the LED lights here on the sides, as well as right here, and really illuminate the whole thing nicely. You can check out my night video for that. There's another outlet for the power inverter here in the bed of the truck as well. So you can see it's a 3-prong like you'd find in your house. And it is 400 watts when the vehicle's running and 100 watts when it's not. So the length of this bed is right there at 6 foot 5 inches. And then to the end of the tailgate is about 101 inches. And it's pretty flat. So the tailgate and the bed is all, you know, fairly flat. Now, of course, this mat kind of interrupts that flatness, but you know, something to consider depending on your needs. Now, the width between the wheel wells here is a little bit over 4 feet, so it's no problem stacking up some plywood or sheetrock back here. And then the height of the bed is, well, without that rubber mat, it is a little bit more than 21 inches. So this has the auto leveling rear suspension, and you can also manually raise it and lower it to kind of help you attach your trailer depending on your needs. So some trailers are higher and lower, and apparently it's supposed to help you instead of raising and lowering your trailer so much, you can do it with the truck. The fuel door is here on the driver's side, and it's just a traditional cap, tether, a little tether right there, and a place to hang the cap here on the inside of the door. Starting it up, as long as you have the key inside the vehicle, you just hold the brake and push this button right here. And check out this animation that it starts off with. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. And there's the accelerator, brake pedal, big footrest there, plenty of room here in the front. So let's take a look under the hood. To raise the hood, there's a latch just a little bit to the right of center, basically right in the middle of center. You just reach in, move it to the left, and just like no effort whatsoever, you can raise the hood. There's insulation on the underside of the hood. There's also seals around the outside of the engine compartment for airflow and also noise. There's also an insulated firewall back there. There's a battery that's easy to get to here on the left side. So this is a twin turbo engine. It's a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6. And it has 389 horsepower and 479 pound-feet of torque, and I'm very impressed with it. And I'm very happy with it relative to the previous engine that they had in here. You know, it doesn't have a huge amount of an additional horsepower, but man, you can feel how much more responsive it is and just more fun to drive overall than the previous generation. Now, this is paired to a 10-speed automatic transmission that seems to have the right gear for pretty much every situation. I'm really happy with the transmission as well. It shifts nicely, and you know, it doesn't impede you in any way, and it's not annoying, and it's not like a big deal. You know, some transmissions it's something stands out about it, and it's like, why is it doing that? But this one seems to work fine. The way the design of the vehicle is, there's a ton of extra space here between the radiator and the grill. There's also grill shutters in here as well. But check it out. Check out this grill. It's kind of like very flexible. Maybe you can see that. So I'm assuming this is to keep it from, gives a little bit of flexibility in case it hits something or whatever, keep it from actually breaking. So it's a more flexible plastic than a more brittle plastic, I'm assuming. The inside of the driver's side door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons, and the side mirrors are just not good. They add some serious blind spots to the vehicle, but it does have auto dimming side mirrors, and as well as the blind spot and rear cross traffic alert indicators here on the side mirror as well. So there's 2 presets for the power seat. This also controls the power steering column as well. And then the power windows are all one touch up and down. So one touch down and one touch up. They go pretty fast too. There in the back, it's one touch down and it goes all the way to the bottom. Similar controls as the passenger side, so it has the tilt, the height, all that stuff, 4-way lumbar adjustment, but it also has to one-up the passenger, of course. You see this button right here, and this is a thigh extension. Kind of gives you some thigh support. Goes up there quite a bit. Really impressive looking seats, very comfortable. Some vehicles have seats that look good, but they're not comfortable, but these look good and they're comfortable, which is nice. Okay, to the left of the steering column, there is quite a few buttons here. So you can turn off the side steps. You can manually, you can see right there, you can manually put them out, you can have them on automatic, or you can turn them off. Now, if you manually put them out, once you start driving, they're going to go back in. Heated steering wheel, there's the button right there. The power inverter that we saw before, this is how you control it. You can turn it on and off. These are to turn on lights that shine, supposed to be on the side of the vehicle towards the back, like when you're backing up a trailer. But they basically shine behind you, but they partially shine in your face as well. This is to extend out the side mirrors. So when we push that, these side mirrors kind of pop out more. They go a little bit out. Looks like about 6 inches out away from the vehicle. This is for towing. Cargo lights can be turned on here, have on with the door or off. Automatic high beams, you can turn that on. Has a little light, lets you know it's on. The idle stop, you can turn it off here. Very annoying, so I usually turn it off if I remember. This is to cycle through the brightness on the interior gauges. You can check out that in the night video. Reset the trip, and then parking sensors, you can turn it off here. Default will be on. And then you have a tilt and a telescoping powered steering column. It does have a very functional heads-up display system. This particular one is very blurry and double imprinted, but it has a lot of functionality there that's really useful as far as your speedometer and your adaptive cruise control and all that stuff. But this particular one just doesn't look all that good, but it is a good system, I think. I'm sitting in the driver's seat checking it out, and I have the driver's seat all the way down, all the way back, and to show you the potential legroom here. And I'm 6 feet tall, my legs are completely straight out. I feel like a toddler. There's lots of legroom here, so definitely got to pull the seat quite a ways up. So if you're way over 6 feet tall, no problem with driving this vehicle. You can find a position, no problem. So it has, of course, you can raise it up, lower it down, forward and back, and all that stuff. So I'm going to pull it forward quite a ways just so I can get to the steering wheel here. It has a nice steering wheel. It has a large section, really thick here at the bottom. The whole thing has a good thickness. It has the perforations there on the side, metallic accents looking nice, as it even has the gloss black here as well. But yeah, really good thickness, comfortable. It's quite a bit thinner and like firm here at the top, but it has some cushion here on the sides more. And then as you get to the bottom, it's the thickest portion. So it's thick, and then it goes to the thin part here at the top. The buttons here on the right side, you notice it has these buttons here, this gloss black buttons, and then these upper buttons here. They're actually separated. So these bottom ones in the gloss black portion, this is the volume for the radio, voice recognition. Mode is to change through your audio source, and then the arrows is to change through say different tracks or radio stations, that kind of thing. So that's a kind of a separate deal here at the bottom. Right above it here on the right side is the adaptive cruise control system. So once you turn it on here, you can set, resume, and cancel using these buttons. The lane keep assist system is right here, and it works pretty decent. Keeps you within the lanes by turning the steering wheel. And You know, sometimes it'll get a little bit funny, but it seems to work pretty good most of the time. And then there's to cycle through and set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you there. And you can actually have that on the heads-up display, that information as well. On the left side, you can see it has the phone button here, but it has this OK, left, right, and back, and up and down, and all that corresponds with the screen, the gauges here. We'll get to that in a minute. But the phone button you can push to answer calls and push it again to hang up, and this is for when you pair your phone to the Bluetooth system. You know, you can use accept calls and all that stuff without, you know, keeping your eyes off the road, you know, taking your eyes off the road and fooling around with your phone. You can just simply press that button. Windshield wiper controls are here, and it does have an automatic function that works pretty dang good. You know, it senses rain, and then it will also increase the speed of the windshield wipers and all that stuff. So as you go through a rainstorm, it's pretty handy. Here on the left side is the turn signal, but it also has your headlight switch. There's the fog lights here, and then there's the headlights. DRL off, you can completely go dark. Automatic headlights, parking lights there, and headlights there. So you can check out my night video if you want to see how good it is going down the road. It's pretty dang good. There's some pluses and minuses, but it's overall pretty good. Okay, so this is a full screen here for the gauges, and you can see right now the view is digital speedometer there in the center. The tachometer is around the outside. You can see that's supposed to be the front of the vehicle, and then there's lines showing you that the status of the lane keep assist system, and also it'll show a little vehicle there if there's a vehicle in front of you, and you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you there. So let's go ahead and turn the system on so I can show you. So you can see those little bars lets you know how far away you're going to be. Plus lane keep assist system, when you turn that on, so it has lane tracing, steering assist active. So as it sees the lines, it'll kind of have these blue lines right here, lines kind of representing that it sees the lines and it's active. And then sometimes it'll see one line, but it does a good job. Even if the lines aren't super clear, it's able to, you know, steer the vehicle quite well. All right, so we have some additional fuel economy information in here. I've been getting mostly a little bit over 17, so this is a little skewed now because we're not driving. But I've been getting a little bit over 17. Has outside temperature there. Digital clock here on the right side. The boost pressure on the turbo system, which is right here. So you have to get the RPMs quite a bit up before it actually does anything. The fuel gauge, engine coolant temperature here. On the left side over here is the voltage for the battery, and then the oil pressure. And then there's of course the odometer here at the bottom. So using these buttons here, we've got the up, down, we've got the side to side and back and all that stuff. We're going to kind of cycle through this information so you can see it's part of a menu system actually. And there's little icons now pop up here at the top. And I'm in the first one, a little leaf one that's like fuel economy. And it has different ones that you can reset. Distance to empty. And you can kind of cycle through that. Now to the right of that is right now showing digital compass. But it also has the ability to have like turn-by-turn directions once you set it up in a system, and you have to subscribe to the navigation. You can see navigation reimagined, subscribe to it. So it's a subscription service, and it's also connected, so you have to have a cell tower nearby in order for it to work properly. Anyways, so that's that. And then scrolling to the right, whatever your radio is doing will show up here. You can go up and down and change the radio stations or tracks or whatever. Scrolling to the right again, this is the status of your trailer, and this is the trailer gain control here, and the output. Also, additional trailer information. So I don't have a trailer set up there, but then you have the trip, and you can reset that, and then the tire pressure is here as well, and then it goes back to the trailer information. Next one is the settings, and you can go in here and turn off the lane tracing. Pre-collision system, you can turn that on or off. Blind spot detection system, you can turn off. Parking sensors, rear cross traffic alert. The HUD, you can go in here, you press and hold the OK to go into the settings on the HUD, and that pops up here, and you can change that. And then the road sign recognition, you can turn that on or off, and then you can customize different things here. You can customize the right side. So right now it's showing the boost pressure here, but we can have other stuff. We can have the pitch and roll, which is pretty cool. Tow gauges. So the pitch and roll would be mostly for off-road here. Now, if we want to go to the tow gauges, we can click that, and now it has information regarding that. It still maintains the boost pressure for the turbo system, but now we're adding a transmission temperature here, as well as the engine oil temperature. So this is engine oil temperature. This is the transmission fluid temperature right here. So you want to keep an eye on that so you don't overload the system. You know, if you're towing super heavy, that kind of stuff. So that's how you can customize the right side. You can also turn it off too. Have nothing over there. But the boost gauges is pretty cool to have over there. You can set up different trailers here. You can check the lights on the trailer, that kind of stuff. And then you go into vehicle settings, press and hold the OK. You can go in here. You can set how long the vehicle stays turned off in there as well on the stop-start feature, but I'm not a fan of that, so no, I wouldn't want to do that. Rear seat reminder, and then the tire pressure warning system, you can reset that, like if you change the tire or something like that. Alright, so going to the right again is stored messages. Let's say it pops up and says, hey, it's time to change the oil, or whatever the message is, then it'll be right here. So if it pops up and goes away, then you can go here to find it. Scrolling to the right again takes us back to the original icon, and then we have that information that we started with. So that's kind of a quick rundown of the information that you can access here. But the screen is actually really nice looking, and it changes as you change the drive modes as well. And I'll show you where the drive modes are and all that stuff in a second, but you can see it has an eco, and you just rest on the one that you want. So right there is eco, and we saw the normal. Let's go to sports, and it changes the view there. And this customizes the suspension system, the transmission, and how everything runs together. And it gives you a little bit more performance-oriented driving with the Sport Plus. And also spin a little bit of tires, that kind of stuff. So it has a slight change in the way the screen looks here, but it's not like a huge drastic difference, but it is pretty cool. And then we started off with the normal, so I'll go back to the normal there. So you can see they're able to use this screen to give you additional information besides just the speedometer and stuff. So it just pops up there when you need it, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we saw the start button here, but just underneath that is the trailer brake gain control. So you can adjust it here. So here's the touch screen. There's also a storage compartment that's kind of hidden back here. So you can quickly access stuff here, but it's right there in the sun all the time. There's also a 12-volt power supply up here as well, but it's kind of hidden behind the screen. You wouldn't really right away see it, so I just want to point that out. It has like a rubber bottom that you can take out, clean, put it back in, but it does have that little storage area. It's kind of neat, like if you're trying to get cell service or something. Let's say you're using your cell phone with the Apple CarPlay, Android Auto navigation, and you want to you're just having spotty service, you're not really getting a clear signal. If you put it up there, it tends to get a little bit better signal than say down here in some compartment or whatever. So that's one of the uses that I use it for. Okay, so here's a nice big touchscreen. It looks fantastic. The resolution, the colors, and everything's rendered nicely. The only thing is, it doesn't have a lot of stuff unless until you subscribe or you use the Apple CarPlay Android Auto systems. So the first one is the navigation. So right off the bat, we have to subscribe to get that. The next one, the radio. Now this is the Bluetooth, which I don't have my phone paired right now, but it hit sources, and it has the regular radio, AM/FM. You have AM/FM. And then satellite radio here. The satellite radio has the little icons and all that stuff. Go back and then we can see your favorites there. So the next one will be the phone, and once you pair your phone you'll have more information here, but not a huge amount. But it does have the access to your recent calls, your phone book, and all that stuff, so you can make calls using the voice recognition system. The next one is the vehicle information. So right now it's the trip, You can keep an eye on current, fuel economy, and then it shows like past bars there. Clear the data when you want to, and then the history here. And like I said, I'm getting a little bit over 17, but since we're idling right now, it's kind of lowering the average here. You can see right now the current. If you ever got a 0 on a test, you know how much that lowers your average. All right, so the next icon. You know the icons are here on the left side. Very easy to get to, and they're always in the same spot. They're not moving around. They're not changing. It's very, very consistent. So then you have the settings here. You can change personal information. You can set up different drivers, general, different ones here. A lot of different options here that you can set up. So there's quite a few in there. But anyways, so you can see it's kind of a basic system until you start subscribing and connecting to it. But it does give you a nice platform and a nice visual experience to go off of, you know. Gives you status of your phone and a little digital clock up there as well on the right. Some of the stuff, the size of the screen is good, but some of the things on the screen, like the digital clock, is a little bit small, that kind of thing. But I mean, it's good. I mean, I'm definitely impressed with it in most ways. Just the screen itself is just so good. It's hard to say anything bad about it, really, in the long run. So let's skip ahead a little bit because I want to show you the camera system. So you can see that it has this type of view here, so you can see what's around the vehicle. Stitching together a camera here in the front, one on the underside of each side mirror and one in the back. And it gives you this view, and it's a real-time view around what's around the vehicle. But when we put it in reverse, very impressive camera system, and it utilizes the screen well because it maximizes and fills in as much as it can. So we have the back view. We also can get the front view. We get the front side view where it shows the wheels. So as I turn the steering wheel, you can see the wheels turning there. And then the back tire view. So it basically eliminates the vehicle and you just see the side views there if you're confused about the view there. Kind of interesting. And you also get the cargo view, so you can see what's in the bed of the truck and how everything's going back there. And then, so you can have this little auto right here. So when you come to when you're slowing down and you get really slow, like under 10 miles an hour or something like that, when you have that set, it's automatically going to turn on the camera system, and it'll be the forward view like this. So as you're going forward, you can like really nail the parking spot, or just kind of have certainty about what's around your vehicle and the lines and all that stuff. Because this vehicle has a lot of visibility issues. So even just kind of pulling up, different places and parking lots and stuff like that, without the camera, it's a little bit challenging to see around the vehicle, especially with the side mirror problem and all that stuff. Okay, so that's a really good camera system, and I'm glad they added that. Climate controls down here. Now, it does have a big physical volume knob as well, but the climate controls are here. It says heated and cooled seats in a 3-stage for both the driver and passenger. Temperatures can be controlled here and here for the driver and passenger. You can also sync them, change where you want the air to blow. It has an automatic function, and then the fan speed can be adjusted here. You just go up and down like so. And then you have the side mirrors turn on. The heated side mirrors turn on with the rear defroster, but there's the front defroster, recirculate the air, and then there's your fan, heated and cooled seats for the passenger. There's also a USB input there as well, input to the system. And then below that, down here, is another bar, which is sometimes you get confused when you first get in the vehicle where the control is. But down here is for the, so this is to help you back up. This one doesn't have any trailers added, but it has a guide, a trailer backup guide system. I don't have any experience with it, but that's what that button's for. The next one is to turn on the camera system, which we already saw. Traction control off button, default will be on. If you need to spin tires, you need to turn that off. 4-way flashes are here, and then you can, this is how you raise and lower the vehicle. So you can press this to put it in the lowest height, or raise it to put it in the highest height. The default would be like a neutral center zone, but you have this manual where you can just hold it and it'll go down just a little bit or raise it a little bit. You can use that, just kind of manually go up and down. It does it very slow, so you have to have a little bit of patience there. All right, so right in here, let me get this out of the way. So you have the electronic parking brake, and when you pull it to engage it, it engages the rear wheels. To release it, you hold the brake and push it in to release it. Now you notice there's no lights letting you know it's on. Up here on the screen, it'll tell you that the parking brake is on. So I'm gonna push it to release it. This is a brake hold feature. It'll actually hold the brake for you when you come to a complete stop. So this is handy in like traffic jams or red lights, things like that. And once you push the accelerator, it'll release the brake and allow you to go. Right here is a wireless charger for your cell phone, and it has a little status light there. It also shows you up here whether it's charging. Now, when I put a cell phone there, it like keeps popping up a lot of times saying, you know, charging stopped, charging started, charging stopped, charging started. And I changed, it kind of just does that sometimes for some reason. Same thing with pairing my phone. Sometimes when I get in the vehicle, it like pairs, unpairs, pairs, unpairs, pairs, unpairs, like, I don't know, 15 times or something before it actually pairs. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. There's also a just like a little storage area here as well. But the cell phone stays in that one spot nicely, and has a little guide right there, so you can make sure you put it in place properly, depending on the size of your phone and all that. But I have the huge phone, and it fits in there fine. Okay, so there's cup holders here, and there's wood grain, which is pretty cool. It has little articulating arms, open in the middle, so you can use it for other things. Shifter's nice. That's a regular, traditional shifter. Everybody knows how to use this. Reverse. That's when the camera system, the parking sensors are active and all that stuff. Neutral, drive, and then to change the gear ratio manually, you can put it over here in the standard mode, and then you have plus and minus. And you'll know what gear you're in because it'll show here once again on the screen. So standard 4, 3, 2, 1, so we can have some engine braking, that kind of thing if we're going downhill. So right here is for the 4-wheel drive system. It has 2-wheel drive high, 4-wheel drive high, and 4-wheel drive low. So it doesn't have any kind of automatic or anything. And then this is where we change the drive mode here. And also you have the tow and haul button as well. So you just turn this knob to change the drive modes, which you saw on the screen over here when you turn it. Quick access little storage area right here, as well as here. Kind of shallow spot there. And then this whole thing lifts up. There's a button on this side and this side, and you can push that and you lift this whole thing up. And it's kind of a little bit springy, so it doesn't flop down on you so much. So you can lift it up here, and there's little storage compartments, little place to put change, and pretty good amount of space in here. And 2 USB charge ports there, so USB and USB-C. This little piece right here can be removed, and you can have more space depending on your needs there. And it has a look like a rubberized floor as well, and a light, which is nice. A little spoiler for the night video, but something to consider. Another thing is, okay, so you have this little space right here, and part of the reason for this little divider, let me put that back on. So there's this little space right here. So when we close this, we can move this back, and we can access this area. So if we want to put stuff in that spot and hold it there in the front area, just a quick access part, we can have that's part of the reason, like I said, that divider, so we can move this back and access that stuff. So if it's not held in that one place, then then we're like have to dig for it or whatever. So having that quick access through this compartment to get it is nice. And also you have your connectivity there as well. And there's a little bit of space here, so the wires can go in and out of this compartment. So it's a little bit of space there. And then of course you can leave this back if you wanted to. Pretty cool. Okay, so the backup camera, or the rear view camera, it's a regular mirror as well, and it's auto dimming. It's actually auto dimming the side mirrors as well, there and here. But it's an auto dim rear view mirror. Has the home link garage door opener controls. It also has the settings for the camera. So when we put in the camera mode, we can see behind the vehicle, directly behind the vehicle, using the camera on the back of the cab, which is really nice. So if you know, for visibility purposes and all that stuff, this is really handy. And then you can push this button to adjust it. You can adjust the brightness, the position, and all that stuff. Just above there is a place to put some sunglasses or safety glasses in here. There's padded here on this side, but this part right here is just a smooth plastic. You have tap lights. The interior lights are hit and miss. It's okay mostly, but you can see how like these are very directional, and these are the only interior lights here in the front, so it has some issues. But it does have these mood lighting, which is pretty cool, and you can cycle through it there, the brightness. I'll show you that in the night video. Okay, so this is for the shade for the sunroof. This is for the actual sunroof movement. This is for the glass in the back. We'll get to all this stuff in a minute. The interior lights can be turned all on here, all off, or in the center position on with the door. There's also a roadside assistance button here as well, and there's a little ambient light right here, which is pretty cool. You can see that at night as well. So the visors have a black cloth exterior, just like the headliner. Has a light and mirror there. They do slide out, and there's also a little clip there, which is handy. This is handy for like quick access, say your registration or something. The sunroof is like the panoramic style, where it has a huge one front and back, and it has a shade that covers 100% of the light, which is nice. And you can pull back on the switch and it will go back for you. All the way back there. So this front portion moves, the back portion is fixed. So let's go ahead and tilt the front, tilt it down, and then now we'll slide it back. Push it back again, goes a little bit further back. Quite a bit further back, actually. All right, move it forward. I like the way they have a separate button for the shade, because sometimes you start playing around, you want to move the shade, and then it's like raining or something, you accidentally open the sunroof. So the separate button for the shade is actually pretty good. So something to say about the visibility. We're going to look in the back, but there's some other things that are really problematic as far as visibility. But visibility there in the back is pretty decent, all things considered. And of course, those headrests can be removed if you have to, and also has a lot of technology as far as this goes. The rear cross traffic alert, the blind spot detection system, there's parking sensors, there's a rear view camera, very detailed camera system and all that stuff. There's even a bed camera. So there's lots of things that help you here on the rear visibility. And while we're looking back here, let's check out the rear glass. It's pretty cool, just like a window on the door. Nice. But the real big problem with visibility on this vehicle, to me, and I think it's hard to really argue, is these side mirrors. These side mirrors are so huge, and they're unnecessarily huge. Huge amount of plastic here. There's a huge frame around the actual mirror, and they get in the way big time for visibility. So very problematic. I mean, it's like even hard to see around it sometimes. It's just right there. It's like somebody holding a big old big sign right in the way or something, right? It's just ridiculous how hard it is to see sometimes with these side mirrors, especially this one. This one, you can move your head and kind of look around it a little bit easier. This one, sometimes you can obscure an entire dump truck behind this thing. It is unbelievable how hard it is to see around this side mirror. And so, something to consider when you get in this vehicle for a test drive, especially, and you're not familiar with these mirrors, you just be very careful, because this is a big time blind spot. And also, especially, you see it has this connection that's huge. And then this pillar is also an additional blind spot. So between here and here, you can fit 2 or 3, like a couple cars, definitely pedestrians, that kind of stuff. will be obscured by this kind of thing. So, and the height of the hood is really high, so you're looking out, and it's just the visibility is definitely an issue, more of an issue here in the front than it is the back. So keep that in mind. Definitely something that I'm not happy with these side mirrors at all. Now I showed you they extend out, and you know, it still just shifts the blind spot out. But you see how thick this arm is? I mean, that arm in itself is an issue. You know, that arm is about as big as a lot of side mirrors. And I know this vehicle is made for towing, but look at Ram's side mirrors. They are made for towing. They have a tow mode. They have a regular mode, and they don't have so much additional chunk here on the sides. But anyways, I'm gonna stop talking about the side mirrors. I'm just not a fan of them, and they are, you know, quite dangerous in my opinion. Now I've got a notification here that says front camera out of temperature range, unavailable, wait until normal temperature. So there's a camera up in there that is for the lane keep assist, and if it's in the direct sunlight, it gets too hot. Since it's enclosed there on the windshield, then it basically disables it until it's able to be cooled off, basically. So we'll get out of that. So I'm going to go on smooth roads because I don't want to get any motion sickness because of the suspension system. And I'm not joking. It does have some issues regarding the suspension system, only in the back. You can feel it hopping in the back constantly. Every time it hits a bump, it will feel like it's like the suspension is defective there in the back. So it's kind of like has this up and down, like it hits a bump and it bounces 3 or 4 times after you hit the bump, that kind of thing. Like a defective damper is what it feels like to me. And it seems a little bit better when I put it in the sport mode. It stiffens the suspension, but it's still, you know, because of the length, I guess, and just the way the suspension is, you just has this forward back constantly pushing against each other or something with the suspension. Blind spot. You need blind spot detection for the side mirrors. The acceleration is nice. I'm not flooring it or anything, but on that I was just kind of accelerating just so you can hear the exhaust and the shift and everything, shifting of the transmission. It's no problem as far as that goes. It's funny because I'll be just cruising along and this truck will be bouncing all over the place like I'm on a mechanical bull, and I'll see the car in front of me like not moving at all. It's like weird. It's like the bumps are just for this, made for only for this vehicle. This guy's got a bicycle in the road, and that's the problem with this vehicle, is it's hard to tell the edge of it because it's so huge. You gotta be very careful. You can hear a little bit of that turbo noise, which is pretty cool. Okay, so this is a very smooth, comfortable road to drive on. So we're not bouncing around too much. But you'll notice we're still getting some bounciness to it, even though it's other vehicles driving on this road and it's like super smooth. And I'm not sure what the deal is with the heads-up display. It's like it's double imprinted, which is making it look blurry. but it has the it is able to read the stop sign, I mean, the signs. So right now it's telling me the speed limit is 55 miles an hour. It shows my little eco bar there. It shows the status of the cruise control set, and also the lines, whether it's seeing the lines or not, and the distance between me and the vehicle in front of me, that kind of thing. The gauges are really nice, easy to read, look good, look quality. They could add a little bit more customization on the screen, but it's not a big deal. It already is good. I'm going to put the lane centering on, and hopefully lane tracing, lane centering, lane departure assist. Like, there's different names for the same feature. So this one, we'll see how it handles this little bit of a turn here. Yeah, it's kind of going off the road here. So yeah, that's why it's not too intrusive, because it's not that aggressive with the steering, which is probably a good thing. You know, when they're super aggressive with the steering, then it kind of tends to fight with you as you're driving. So I'm fine with it not being intrusive. I'd rather it be less intrusive and let me just steer the vehicle. Blind spot mirror there, especially on a circle like this. It's kind of small. So this is a lot more responsive than the previous generation. The previous generation was very weak. It felt weak and just over, like the engine was just overburdened by all the weight of the vehicle, and I don't know, it was just not all that great. Not impressive to me. I didn't really enjoy driving it at all. But this one is a lot more enjoyable, except for the blind spot mirrors. The mirrors there that are a big blind spot, and the hopping of the suspension. It's very nauseating sometimes. So this road's a little bit more bumpier, so maybe you can tell. The camera has image stabilization, so you might not be able to tell as much, but it's definitely a hoppy feeling to it. Seems like it handles like smaller bumps better than it does like bigger bumps. Like it gets in this bouncy mode sometimes, but right now it seems a lot better. And of course, this vehicle is made for hauling, so I'm just driving it with nothing in it. So that's really the issue. That's really the main problem, is that, you know, there should be some weight in the back of the truck. They should be connected to a trailer, because it makes no sense to buy this truck and just drive around like this. It just makes no sense. This is made for hauling, and you know, you're putting huge weights in the back of the truck and hauling heavy trailers, and that's what this is designed for. It's not a car, you know. So it's a little bit unfair for me to say I don't like the suspension system, but it kind of is too, because if you compare it to other brands, you know, say like Ram or you know, Ford has got a little bit of wheel hop, but it's not as persistent as this one. So yeah, there's other brands ride better, especially Ram to me. But this one's, you know, overall a good truck. It's just, you got to haul stuff with it. You got to use it as a truck. So you see that it has a pretty decent sound to the engine, and the acceleration is nice. For a vehicle this size, it does feel good, and it gives you that linear, straight, it's not wandering around acceleration. So very impressive. Okay, so there you have it. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of this vehicle, the pluses and minuses. I would say that my main issue is the side mirrors. The second issue I have is the ride quality. It's bouncy. It feels like the rear suspension is defective or something. It's too much movement there in the back. And you know, when it's unloaded, of course. When it's loaded, it's a lot better ride quality, but still, you know, it doesn't make any sense to have that much bouncing. But other than that, this is a pretty nice vehicle. There's a lot of pluses here, and you know, definitely want to take one for a test drive and look at it for yourself. Comfortable seats and all that stuff. So anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in the comments about this vehicle, and I'll see you guys next time.